Hello, everyone. Welcome to the InStyle knitting studio. Today, I would like to briefly tell you how to knit this little vest, this sleeveless item. It is knitted in size 52 to 54, roughly. It was knitted with needles number 275. My yarn was about 100 grams and 250 meters long approximately. So, this vest is knitted from the bottom up as a single piece. I cast on 237 stitches using needles number 275. We knit a ribbing of 1 by 1 for about 3.5 centimeters. Then, I switched to the main pattern. After the ribbing, I knitted upwards for about 40 centimeters to the armholes. I knitted this band in the front and on the sleeves as one piece right away. I used 10 stitches for the 1 by 1 ribbing. It is very difficult to show this vest in the camera because it is large. Therefore, I will explain it this way. I think you will understand. The width of the back is 117 stitches. The two front pieces use 60 stitches each. I added buttonholes right away. Although this is a model that can actually be worn unbuttoned, just thrown over. That is, after each pattern, I have an opening. The pattern ends, and there's the opening. I ended up with 7 buttons. I haven't sewn on the buttons yet, but that's not really important. I knitted 3, 4, 5 patterns from the bottom up. And here I started to form the sleeve and decreased by 2 stitches. That is, I decreased 2 stitches here, and 2 stitches there. This is needed so that my shoulder doesn't slip down too much. After the 7 buttons, I started decreasing for the neck here. That is, after 5 patterns, I began knitting the sleeve immediately. Here is the edging for 10 stitches with 1 by 1 ribbing. Here, after 7 buttons, I started to form the neckline. So, I knitted about 40 centimeters until the sleeve, and then another 9 centimeters, I think, before starting the neckline. I began to decrease 1 stitch in each knit row. Right here before the band, we knit the band as usual with 10 stitches in a 1 by 1 ribbing pattern. I decreased until I reached 38 stitches. Here, I 38, and after that I started knitting straight. Of course, you will have your own measurements and you will try it on yourself. In height, it turned out about 1 pattern. This is regarding the front panels. So, how did I knit the back? Initially, when I transitioned to the sleeve, I didn't decrease here as in the front, right, but just knitted straight. After knitting 22 rows straight, I began to decrease, as I had done before. I decreased 5 stitches for 1 pattern, yes, and knitted 2 patterns that way. I decreased 5 stitches on one side, and 5 on the other side. Then, I knitted the 3rd pattern straight. And here, I closed 9 stitches to have 38 stitches on this side and the other side, so I could sew them together stitch by stitch. After sewing the shoulders, I ended up with the ribbing left as an open stitch here. I started to simply knit the ribbing for the length of the back neck. And here, I have a seam where the ribbing is, yes, around the neckline. Here's 1 seam. Right here. There is no seam here, just the shoulders. But I think you understood, yes? That is, we sewed the shoulders. I have open stitches left here. And I knitted a thin ribbing separately. I sewed it here. And here I have a seam with this ribbing. This is how I knitted this sleeveless piece. Well, that's probably it here. I just need to sew on the buttons and do the final wash. So, I hope you understood at least a little bit of something. Maybe some ideas will come to you after watching this video. Thank you for being with me. If there are any questions left, feel free to ask in the comments. I will try to answer them. But I must say right away that I can't specify about the loops or the rows, because everything was knitted just like this, without taking notes. So I apologize if anything. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.